Chakra is a 2021 Indian Tamil language action thriller film. The story is about when the world wakes up on an Independence Day witnessing 50 house mass robberies planned and executed by a cyber hacker. On the other hand, Chandru, his late father's Medal of Honor Ashoka Chakra, is stolen too. What is the connection of this mass robbery case with stolen Ashoka Chakra? How will Colonel Chandru, along with Assistant Commissioner Gayathiri, be able to solve the case without any proof or evidence and yet retrieve his father's medal? Is the crux of the story. On Independence Day, Tamil Nadu Police Control Room reported about 49 robbery cases involving two black dressed men with face masks, where one holds the family at a gunpoint and the other robs jewelry and cash, including the pension amount. Being Independence Day, the cops on duty were scattered around cities, hence, even after reporting, the cops got late to reach the spot in their usual time and could not stop the robberies. With help of the victims' testimonies, the police commissioner, played by Vijay Babu, and the department are able to draw the conclusion that it was a planned robbery as the thieves only targeted the houses with old citizens. Secondly, they had the blueprint of all the 49 houses. Since the robbers knew the locations of the jewelry and cash, they robbed each house without losing too much time before the cops could reach the spot. Intelligently, the robbers did not leave footprints, fingerprints, or CCTV footage for the police to have a lead or evidence. Even the sniffer dogs too came of no use. Here, a female cop kills criminal Kasi in an encounter for murdering a cop's family and the cop because he registered a case against Kasi for a crime. The female cop is the Assistant Commissioner Gayathiri, played by Shraddha Srinath, who has been assigned to the theft case, adding that the majority of the elderly couple's son live abroad and the total loot amounts to 70 million rupees. Gayatri finds out that there are 50 cases. The 50th house belongs to Chandru, played by Vishal, who is also Gayatri's former love interest. Gayatri calls Delhi Office of Military Special Covert Unit System and Data Analysis to inform Chandru that his grandmother, played by K.R. Vijaya, has been hospitalized for minor head injury. Gayatri and her colleague were surprised to know that Chandru had left for Chennai to see his grandmother already. But it is not new for Chandru to find about occurrences on his own. The story flashes back to the parking space of a shopping mall where Gayatri, who has been shopping with Chandru, finds herself in trouble while pursuing Kasi's brother Guna and his men. But Chandru reaches a spot and rescues her. Next scene where Gayatri and her uncle meet Chandru and his grandmother for marriage proposal. Gayatri's uncle is assured by Chandru, saying that he hails from respectable family, generations of freedom fighters, has enough savings and earns decently to take care of Gayatri. Chandru adds that his ancestors' medal and trophies have filled his house shelf and that he takes pride in the honor given to his deceased father with his Ashoka Chakra medal. Chandru, who gets offended by the uncle's remark of medals being worthless, ends up slapping the uncle. Gayatri backs her uncle, saying it was wrong of her uncle to mock his late father's medal, but Chandru should not have slapped an elderly person who is like father to her. She asks Chandru to apologize, else she would not see him or meet him. Chandru says that he won't marry her unless her uncle apologizes, and then Gayatri leaves. In grandmother's house, Gayatri meets Chandru, who discovers that his father's Medal of Honor Ashoka Chakra has been stolen along with money and jewelry. Chandru replies to curious Gayatri that he suspected something amiss and decided to return to his grandmother when he did not receive her call on Independence Day and also when she did not answer his several calls. After knowing about the robbery details from Gayatri and seeing his grandmother in an unconscious state, Chandru's personal agenda is now to solve the case by catching the robbers and retrieving the Ashoka Chakra medal. Owing to the fact that the robbers knew the exact location of money and jewelry in every house, Chandru concludes that these are not just random street robbers but a network involving the robbers who must have visited every house and then carried out the robbery very smartly not to get caught. He makes a list of the visitors who can have access to the elderly couple's houses, from water can mill supplier to AC technician, plumber, and electrician. Later, Chandru, realizing that a dial for help company provides such household services, he heads to the company's head office and learns all the 50 houses had been serviced by the company under a common service number belonging to a man named Marimuthu. Police locates his house only to find him already dead. Meanwhile, Chandru acquires data from Dial for Help company detailing the houses that were serviced by Marimuthu, about employee Arjun responsible to maintain the contract servicemen's database, about Vinod, the company's software design developer, and demands meeting with the board of directors. During the interrogation, everyone is puzzled to learn from Marimuthu's widow wife that her husband had died 2 years ago and the company records showed the services were being carried out under his name even after his death. She further reveals he never worked for any corporate company but municipal corporation and that he died while cleaning a hotel's septic tank. As Chandru was wondering as to why plumber Marimuthu was referred as an electrician serviceman as well, he learns from Gayathri that under Marimuthu's service number, the record shows services offered to 413 houses in in 18 months. It was clear that the mastermind behind this robbery used deceased Marimuthu's reference and dial for help company as a tool to bring the robbery case to a dead end. Chandru senses a strong connection between deceased Marimuthu and the robbery case. As Gayathiri interrogates the database chief and the software engineer, Chandru discovers that the dial for help company's system is being hacked at the same time as they were investigating. Meanwhile, the police commissioner gets a call from an unknown number and informs that he was responsible for the mass robbery. He also challenges that the entire police force wouldn't be able to track him down and hacks the police commissioner's office CCTV camera. Chandru understands that the mastermind used a voice synthesizer's text-to-speech system to speak with the police commissioner. This technique is being used by the terrorist organization. Secondly, the mastermind was able to hack into the CCTV through wireless adapter connected to the police commissioner's computer system installed by his own men posing as servicemen from the Dial for Help company. Chandru plans with the police commissioner, who declares in front of the press reporters that they are at the brink of nabbing the bad guy, thereby provoking the mastermind to give his location code 00100. The police crack the code and reach the location only to find the computers were already destroyed. As per Chandru's analysis, he finds that the phone number used on behalf of Marimuthu was kept active during 19 months only for servicing the 413 houses. Chandru also finds out that out of 413 houses that the robbers serviced, only 50 houses have been robbed so far from the total of 108 houses belonging to wealthy families. Remaining 58 houses are left to be robbed. Chandru adds that if they keep remaining 58 houses under surveillance, it will make the houses more vulnerable to robbery, hence backfiring the police department and their reputation will be at stake. Chandru notices that the mastermind's location code was drawn on the wall differently, resembling the Queen of Chess. Pointing at this first clue, he mentions that the mastermind could be a woman. Chandru reveals that the mastermind hacker left a partial thumbprint on the scanner used to destroy all the data. The second clue was a sweat extracted from the thumbprint that showed large levels of amino acid, confirming that mastermind is indeed a woman. Chandru shares that the remaining 58 houses will be robbed on a day similar to the Independence Day when the police forces will be scattered around the city, and that day will be the PM's arrival on August 23. The hacker is revealed as Leela, played by Regina Cassandra, who works as a chess coach. In a conversation with her student's father Ganesh, a single parent working in a bomb squad, when he mentions that his mother is very dearest to him, this takes Leela into her flashback, showing how baby Leela loved her mother and shared a great bonding. But her alcoholic and abusive father is seen torturing her mother regularly. One morning, Leela is shocked to see her mother dead in her sleep. After the demise of Leela's mother, her father remarries and brings another woman with her two young sons. Leela found herself at the mercy of her stepmother who ill-treated Leela. A worried Leela is seen reflecting on the words of her teacher that she will need money to pursue her interest in studying computer science. One day, Leela overhears her father and stepmother's conversation that her biological mother was murdered by the duo, and now the stepmother is contemplating a plan with the father to kill Leela. An emotional and enraged Leela kills both her father and stepmother by electrocuting them. Since then, she uses her stepmother's two sons for her thefts by luring them with intoxicated substances. Now, the two brothers are seen praising Leela, computer wizard who never went to college, yet how she uses her wit in making money through planned mass robberies without getting caught. Leela mentions 23 as in August 23 on her vision board, indicating the date of the next robbery to be carried out in a similar fashion, and after this, the trio will be leaving the city permanently. On the other hand, Chandru and Leela put their past behind and are back together, with Chandru making amends with her uncle. On August 23, Chandru and Leela, along with the police department, have tightened the security inside the 58 houses to trap Leela and her team, while police commissioner heads off to the airport to receive the Prime Minister. The vigilance surveillance system in all 58 houses were hacked and crashed by Leela. Leela was unaware of the vigilance department having planted hidden cameras around the 58 houses were remotely turned on and were tracking Leela's men. As in the August 15 robbery case, Leela and her stepbrothers started with the house number 15 at IDR to CIT, which was in the north to south direction. Chandru's observation about Leela is that she plans everything against the odds and the opposites. Hence, this time the robbery's destination should start from the house number 23 at Valsaravakkam towards Annanagar, that is south to north direction. When Leela realizes that the regular maid Marimuthu's widow wife working at her chess coaching center was taken by the police on the same day Leela and her gang was to execute the robbery, she alerts her stepbrothers to cancel the robbery at house number 23 and return after dumping their black dress, gun and belongings. After they dump their black outfit and bag in the garbage can, A policeman suspects the two men after realizing the men have stolen the bike and takes them away. The Dial for Help company board of directors who meet Chandru are lectured on their irresponsibility towards not securing the public's data that was leaked and misused by the culprits in looting the victims' hard-earned money. When the board member argues back claiming that their company has secured the data as per the government norms, using best known international standards and are ethical in their dealings, Chandru unveils their mask, showing their last financial year's annual report, displaying a huge sum transaction for updating their software security. But in reality, since 4 years, the company did not update the data security system at all. Chandru leaves the Dial for Help company's board of directors with strict warning to cooperate, else to face consequences. Leela gets vigilant for her next moves. Chandru understands from his grandmother, who has regained her consciousness, that first she begged the robbers to not steal Ashoka Chakra medal, which was her son's only memory, and given in the honor of his sacrificial death for protecting the nation. However, the grandmother suffers a head injury during the scuffle while trying to stop the robbers who finally stole Chandru's father's Ashoka Chakra medal. Chandru promises his grandmother that he will bring back his father's Ashoka Chakra medal. Chandru, after learning the stolen bike number from a stressed man who approaches the police team, he backtracks the location of the bike from the CCTV footage showing two men covering their faces stealing the man's bike. Finally, the bike is given to its owner. When Chandru's colleague mentions that such thieves use bikes to materialize robbery, Chandru asks Gayathiri to interrogate every man caught for stealing bike today since morning. The robbers, including Leela's stepbrothers Balu and Babu, were interrogated, but they unknowingly reveal themselves as the robbers involved in mass robbery when Chandru offers to let go of them if they solve the station's water issue. After digging Babu and Balu's criminal history, Chandru learns that the men were involved in the ATM robbery on August 15, the same day the mass robbery occurred. He then learns that they have a stepsister named Leela who works as a chess coach. Chandru is now confirmed that he has found the mastermind, Leela, who was behind the mass robbery dated August 15. He meets Leela at her workplace. When Leela fails Chandru's plan to video record her conversation with him, he challenges Leela openly that he will ensure she is put behind the bars. However, Leela provokes Chandru to get her name out of her stepbrother's mouth. Listening to this, provoked Gayathiri does the same. But when the brothers stab and wound her and the policeman, Gayathiri ends up killing the brothers in self-defense. After being hospitalized, Gayathiri is seen apologizing to Chandru, who made her realize the mistake of not handling the case patiently. Having the leads gone, it is now difficult to catch the clever Leela. Leela wanted this so that with her stepbrother's death, the police won't have anything against her to prove her crimes and she can walk freely from the law. Guna accepts Leela's offer to kill Chandru, who once killed his brother Kasi. Leela calls Chandru and tells him that while he will be fighting Guna and his men, she will be heading to kill Gayathiri and challenges him to stop her. Chandru fights back and calls the hospital, but Leela is already inside the hospital to kill Gayathiri. Leela gets surprised to see Gayathiri not in a room. Here, the trick of saving Gayathiri is revealed, that the constable simply stood outside 2 rooms away from Gayathiri's room and conned Leela. Chandru calls Leela saying he is already ahead of her claims and challenges that if she manages to escape from his sight for the next 24 hours, then he will never come after her. Leela is hiding in Ganesh's house on the pretext of attending his mother's funeral function. Before the police commissioner enters Ganesh's house, she escapes with Ganesh's daughter to their house terrace to use her as bait for her to escape. Here it is revealed that Leela is the cause for Ganesh's mother's death. A day before the funeral, Leela calls Ganesh's mother, informing that her son Ganesh died in a bomb defusing mission, and after hearing this lie, Ganesh's mother dies due to sudden heart attack. Police commissioner receives a phone call, and as he watches the video, Ganesh, standing next to him, gets shocked. The scene cuts here. Chandru, along with police, visits Leela on the terrace. Money and the jewelry is retrieved. Leela tries to jump off the terrace but is rescued and finally taken away in police van. Losing the challenge, Leela says to Chandru that he will not get his father's Medal of Honor, the Ashoka Chakra. Chandru proves her wrong by showing his father's Ashoka Chakra. Chandru reveals to Leela that he knew how she played games in reverse way. When he will be searching for the lost medal in the entire city, Leela will choose the backyard of his house to hide the medal. Leela was unaware of Chandru knowing that his CCTV had been crashed by Leela. So he retrieved the footage from the small camera installed inside the pigeon's head, the same place where Leela dug and hid the medal. Then Chandru had sent the video to the police commissioner, and Ganesh, standing next to him, identified Leela as his daughter's coach. Chandru further reveals that he found Leela is the culprit as the partial fingerprint matched with the fingerprint found on the Medal of Honor. And now you all know how Leela got entangled in her own trap. The movie ends with an open end for a sequel where Leela calls and challenges Chandru by uttering the words "the game begins." Thanks for watching. For more storytelling videos, subscribe to the Moodies channel.